Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel for a brand new episode of Pros and Cons, where we discuss the positive and negatives of custom loadouts to try and help you find your best class setup for Call of Duty Warzone. Today we should be looking at the ODEN and how it performs within Warzone. We'll not only be looking at the ideal attachment setups, but also its base statistics and the best playstyle to fully utilise this loadout. The ODEN is a unique assault rifle, and similar to the AK-47, took a fair bit of tweaking to make this blueprint competitive, which we were able to achieve in our previous video. So be sure to let me know in the comments below if you do go on to enjoy this class setup, and if there are any loadout setups which you would like to see next on this series. If you do go on to enjoy this type of video and find it helpful, I would appreciate it if you drop me a like. With that out of the way, we can discuss the custom attachment setup in just a second, but first let's talk about the ODEN's base statistics. As usual, we shall start with both the base damage and time to kill. The ODEN packs a whopping 62 base damage to the torso, with a headshot bonus of 77. It has a base magazine of 20 rounds, and has a slow and steady fire rate with a rounds per minute of 410 milliseconds. Its time to kill at base health comes in around 150 milliseconds, making it one of the fastest assault rifles, just behind the FAL. This then increases to 600 milliseconds while trying to down an enemy player who is fully armoured. Well, these are some impressive stats. The ODEN definitely comes with its quirks, and one of them is its recoil. If we quickly jump in the speedball, we can see that the ODEN is not one for being manhandled, but rather enjoys going straight upwards while swaying to the left over time. While this can be countered by pulling in the opposite direction, it does like to jump around a fair bit, making it a tiny bit harder to control your shots. Because of this, I have specifically placed attachment setups on my ODEN blueprint to minimise recoil deviation and maximise control. This brings us onto our class setup, and for today's blueprint we are utilising the monolithic suppressor instead of the Colossus. I'll come back to this in just a second. For my optic, I'm using the VLK, and as always this is personal preference. The Forged Tack ballast pack for my stock, the rubberized grip tape, and lastly the Commando foregrip. Now the reason I am using the monolithic is because I have a sneaky suspicion that adds a little more control to the blueprint overall. You could experiment with that yourself and see which works best for you. This blueprint definitely is a hard hitting beast for players who like to keep their distance, as this thing will drop people before they even know where you're shooting them from. For when things get a little close and personal, I have the Renetti as my secondary, EOD, Ghost, tune up for my perks, C4 as my lethal, and smoke grenades as my tactical. So what would be the playstyle I would suggest playing with? Well, it's not a class setup that is going to reward you with a run and gun mentality, as it does flourish at medium range. With its high damage and awkward recoil, the best strategy is to mount on a surface and deal high damage while your teammates push the pace. It's wonderful for players who like to anchor and ambush their opponents, and is extremely rewarding for your accurate players out there. If that's not your thing, you can always try an RPG. With that being said, there have been some times where this ODEN setup has definitely gotten me out of a few sticky situations, but I honestly wouldn't count on it when it comes to close quarters. I would suggest the more open areas of the map, such as the dam, military base, and perhaps quarry. With the ODEN and Renetti combination, you should be equipped to deal with both close and medium ranges, while you can also use your smoke grenades and tune up for fast and safe revives. I have noticed a lot of these custom blueprints have been built to flourish in these areas, so I do promise I will be adding some run and gun loadouts within the future. As always, there are a variety of custom blueprints which you could choose from. For today I have utilised my ODEN for close to medium range, but you could add the heavier attachments for even further range and recoil control. As a team, we do like to move a lot in Warzone, so this is the main reason I didn't go for this kind of build, but be sure to experiment and see which works best for you. To wrap up today's video, we can quickly look at the pros and cons of this best class setup for the ODEN. First up, it's obvious that the ODEN hits like a truck, making it an excellent loadout for players who like to down their opponents quickly. Its range is fantastic, as well as its bullet velocity. Unfortunately, the ODEN does fall shy on a variety of situations, and one of them is its ammo capacity. Its base magazine count is only 20 rounds, which is simply not enough to down stacks of players in case you're playing trios or quads. Although in saying that, it should be enough for solos. Its recoil is a little awkward, making it a not so friendly loadout for new players. It's very situational, much like the FAMAS, and can be amazing at medium range 1 minute and then trash the next. I would say this last con is worth mentioning as it is currently way outside the meta and unfortunately just underperforms when compared to the easier assault rifles like the Recoil. With all these factors taken into consideration, I would rate this custom blueprint for the Odin a 7 out of 10. Unfortunately, it's just too unreliable. For me at least, in another player's hands, it might be something special. Well guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of Pros and Cons. If you'd like to see more of these type of videos, be sure to drop a like, a dislike if you didn't, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing to the channel, make your way back. I would now like to leave you with some gameplay. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy.
I doubt they'll push our way after that, to be honest.
Well, we're safe in the circle here.
Yeah. Here's good ground, isn't it?
They're coming around the side, right?
Oh, the guy's in the building. That's alright. Right on, Peter.
Kill them.
Yep.
Keep the pressure on.
Aye, you're having a laugh. Assault Rifle, Morgan. Pushing it.
Downed one.
Shooting
Shooting to
up.
the center.
Yep.
Am I right here somewhere?
Oh. Yep, nice.
Less than 5 to go. Bring home the win.
To the left.
Easy, Andrew.
Another one here.
Team out. Nice! There we go.
Let's go.
He had shot about 2 meters above that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, that is a scary finish. But, you know, I think we were good keeping the outside.
That was intense.
Right, I gotta back down right here.
Fair play, decent.
Was it the same last one?
They're both ghosts.
Oh, I could stop using this Odin now.